All right, guys. Thank those who are following the channel, those who are joining in. First and foremost, just like to give a shout out to those who are, like I say, supported the channel from day one. As we're approaching 10,000 subscribers, that is a plus. First and foremost, shout out to Random JG in the house being in the mix. Shout out to Campos. Fantastic, guys. Thank you guys for following along. Don't forget to follow Vouch Lombardi channel 2 as well, and also follow let me see my levels. Don't forget to follow also Mark Holmes. He needs to have more followers too as well. The guy is amazing. They got so much dynamic stuff as far as Cowboys talk, Cowboys draft, and philosophies and things down the line of what the Cowboys need to do and what they supposed to do with the draft and stuff like that, and also what they're supposed to do in the upcoming days. So let me know if you guys are able to hear me. Let me know if my levels are not too high or not too low or something like that, and we can get this ball rolling. Q&A session, talk about things that's on your mind, and leave the floor out to you guys. Let's get a defensive end. Yeah, you're right. We need to get as much defensive end as we can. We need to figure out a way to get somebody who can just put that line out there, put some type of formations out there to have this line to be respected in the league. We need to have Sean Lee and Jalen Smith running free, and that's the only way that you can run free. If you have these big hogs, if you have somebody who's able to bring the pressure out to the edges, bring the pressure out to the end, that will help us out so much. You know, shout out to Bill Bones in the house. Tally, shout out to you as well. Medina, Crystal, shout out to you. Roy, shout out to you. Shout out to everybody who's following Law Nation. JPP, he might be too rich for us, man. He might just be too rich for us. That's the only thing with JPP. He might just cost too much money, too much equity. We need somebody who is going to be able to just somebody who's got, like, at least, I would say, maybe 8 to 9 million. We might can stretch that out. If we do a quick math, 8 to 9 million, maybe a 3-year contract that's right at 24 to maybe 30 million. You know, it's something that we probably can swallow if we able to go that route. You know, the combine hasn't even started yet. John Ross ran a 4.3 low. Now Cook, that's what we need. We need speed kill. I had D.D. Westbrook on my radar. I think that he would be able to bring in that extra element, but he's a little taller, you know. But that John Ross is a little bit more seasoned. But if we can't settle with a John Ross, I would love to be bunched up and married up with Juju Smith. So those are players like that I can see actually that's on our team. Landon, would you say I'm on Poe and Pepper's train? Yeah, if Poe and Pepper, if those two is able to lower their price down just a little bit, we can see something. You know, can you imagine, guys? Can you imagine Rob Marinelli, right? Rob Marinelli with the skill set of somebody like Poe. That would be crazy. Super Tiger 2607 in the house. Shout out to you too as well. Hey, don't forget to follow, like I say, Vouch Lombardi. If you need some draft breakdown, stuff like that, he got great content on his channel. I told him I'd give him a shout out and a plug on his channel. I'm talking about the guy, got some inside stuff. He's a Cowboy fan too as well. And we know how Cowboys fans are, right? We die hard, man. We sweat. We bleed. We cry internally, you know, or we cry publicly. We just give it all to our teams, you know. So those who come at us kind of cross-eyed and stuff like that, we kind of like get them on the point. Let me see if it's, yeah, click that link right there. That's Vouch Lombardi link right there. We're gonna reel this thing strong. Maybe we all can collaborate together, do like a Skype show and have everybody talking, going back and forth of what the team should do, what kind of prospects we should have out there and stuff like that. I don't know that if you answered this. This is from Shane. Do you like D-Jack with the one-on-one coverage? Are you talking about now? Who you talking about? DJ? Who DJ? Do you like DJ if the money is right? One-on-one coverage, hell of a line, one hell of a half. DJ. Oh, you talking about the DJ that played for the Redskins? Man, like I say, I would love to have him on a team. He's somebody that I can just be able to just close my eyes. He's a known commodity. You're gonna hear me say that a lot. You know, I like known commodities. I like people who we know that's gonna be a proven product out there on the field. We love that because we know without a shadow of a doubt that person is going to be able to come in and out, and I think Dak Prescott is going to be able to build that rapport because he built a lot of rapport this year just in the small time that he had, you know. So I kind of like what we can do if we can bring in those type of guys. Wish we had, you know, what is it? Random says the JG. Wish we could get a Eric Berry. I mean, if the price is right, you know, we freed up some cap space. We got money, got some money now. So do you spend? All right, let's look at it this way. Let's look at it this way, guys. Church is going to demand at least $8 million, right? So do you sign at Church? Do you keep Church? Because he's gonna demand at least minimum 8 to maybe 9 million. That's what Church is going to ask for, right? And Church gonna ask for 8. Terrence Williams gonna ask for a minimum of like 6 to maybe the market may say 8 million too as well. And that's just the problem. That's the conundrum. We don't have room. We don't have the remunerations to have them on our team. That's just both of them. We're gonna have to get rid of one of them. You know, that is the problem. All right. So if we don't sign Church, and then we free up some money, of course. By just sure of what we have left from not signing, re-signing, or trying to work out a contract deal with Church. And if you don't have the ability to re-sign Terrence Williams, we know Dunbar may be gone. You know, then you have a toss-up between McFadden and you have a toss-up between Alfred Morris, because you can cut Alfred Morris and give a little bit of cap room on that aspect. But now you try to figure out what kind of player do we need on our offense to be explosive and stuff like that. Do we go by the draft? You know, do we go grab a John Ross, or do we go grab a D.D. Westbrook, or do we go grab a Corey Davis if he fall to us, or do we go grab a O.J. Howard? So the draft is the only way we can save money on the cap, but at the same time and token, we're gonna have to figure out a way to be able to find money, you know. So if you know how we get $7 to $8 million real quick if you cut Tyrone Crawford, you know, but that's gonna be a horse of a different color, you know. If you get rid of one of your guys that you know that's been in your system for a while, that has not been producing the way you would like to have it been produced, that now you open up Pandora's box, you know. So that's why I say we do know that we're working with $8 to maybe $9 million now. Since we did the extension, shout out to Magic Toaster, since we did the extensions of the offensive lineman contract. So do we go out and grab that one defensive player that I've been lamenting that we need, or do you go out and grab a Darren D-Jack, you know? Those are things that we're going to have to figure out, because at this point in time, can you really trust Lucky Whitehead? Can you trust a Bryce Butler of the world? You know, can you trust any of those guys? Can you trust Jason Witten being healthy for the next year? You know, football is a game of chances. You can say it's luck, but you got to make calculated risk. Let me see what else. Shout out to Levi Shane. We don't need Deshaun when we have Dez. Well, Dez, I don't know if Dez can take the top off of defense anymore. You know, Shane, I mean, Levi, I don't think that he can do that. It's just like what if I can put this in a different perspective. I wish I could, but we need some more explosive players on our offense, and that's the conundrum we have. Do you go with offense? Do you go with defense? We're gonna lose regardless of at the end of the day. There's 20 to 21 free agencies, so we're not gonna have the same team that we had last year, nor we're going to have the same team that we had in 2014 going forward and whatever, you know. But we know for sure that our defense is our defense. our core guys in our defense needs to be vamped up. You got Carr, you got Mo Claiborne out there that need to be re-signed. You got J.J. Wilcox, you got Church. You just can't keep them all, so you're gonna know these guys gonna want money, and money is the root of all this chaos that we in. Super Tiger 2607 said Zay Jones. That's a tongue twister there. I'm gonna call him just Z. Z Jones is gonna be run routes very well. Tape and film that I saw, so he could be something like that I wouldn't mind looking at on our team, on our roster, because of his route running abilities. But he's still a rookie, and with that, he just don't know if he's going to have any of the production that we saw from T. Will or even Bryce Butler at this point, because he is a rookie. I just don't know, But that's the deal of another day. All right, so Magic Toaster, and let me see what Levi said. Random. He said that Tony Romo should go to the Texans. I mean, for free. Should he be traded to the Texans, or should the Texans wait till he be released? That's the question. That's the $1 million question, or the $25.3 million question. Should we wait for injury to come so he can be released, or do we just go ahead and jump on the wagon? You just go ahead and try to trade him for some money, for some picks. Those are things that we got to take in mind. All right, defensive lineman. This is from Sierros. Defensive lineman or secondary pick. I'm with the mindset and the skill set with that we should go. Or we should always build from the defensive lineman on out, or from the interior on out. We call it secondary for a reason. That's your secondary level. So it's like the chicken or the egg, what comes first. But in my opinion, from my insight, from my small mind of thinking or reasoning, I would just go with that line. And the only thing that you can just kind of like escape from that, if you can fix some of these things up in the offseason with the free agency before the draft. If you go out and grab a Calais Campbell, if you go out and grab a maybe a Poe, and spend some money on those guys, then you can go with your first pick with a DB. But the other conundrum of it is that research and history shows that most of your top rated pass rushers are from picks 1 through maybe 10 or 11 or 12, and we're just not picking that high, or that low in the draft. So that's the problem. So do you go out from that point? If the best player available is OJ, do you just grab him and then worry about a defensive pressure on the back end, or do you just go out and just go try to grab that defensive player that fell in your lap at that point? So those are the conundrums that we're going to be dealing with, Cowboy Nation. Shout out to Max. Nothing good right now. Everything is just fine and dandy. Shout out to Mustang 0772. All right. Super Tiger, he said, well, Cowboys did sign a returner from the player. That McDuffie kid. Let me tell you about McDuffie. I'm not super hyped on him. I don't like projects and project type of players. You're gonna have to show it to me out there on the field, because we've been dealing with these project players for years and years and years now. And what have that cost us? Nothing, But I just want to be able to see something with this kid before I make any type of celebration or shout out to this guy and this sort of thing. That McDuffie kid, I just want to see more out of him on the NFL level, But what he said, Shane says, no Lucky and Deshaun give us a punt return ability. Yeah, you're right. Burgess, let's move up to the draft and get pass rush, resign Church and Claiborne, and let him battle Scandrick. Anthony Brown to start. Draft a late round wide out. So let me see what you're saying. Let's move up and draft and get a pass rush, right? So it's easier said than done. But when you're saying moving up, what are you going to give up to move up? Nobody's just going to give out stuff for free. There's nothing in life free. So Burgess, what you going to give up to move up? You know, are you going to get rid of a second round pick, or you can get rid of a third, or you can get rid of next year's first? You know, those are things that you're going to have to make a rational decision on, because if you decided to move up and you say, okay, I'm going to move up to the what spot you're going to move up to, you know. We shouldn't sell our form for Myles Garrett, you know, even though, you know, he looks like this big specimen of a player. But what happens if he twists his knee or not able to start that first year? Then we back at the proverbial Cowboys taking too much of a risk. Now, let me tell you what I would do, Burgess. If I was in the GM shoes and I want more darts to throw at this draft, I want more darts. I want to be able to hit on more players. You know what I would do? Instead of moving up, I will move back. I'll move back. It's crazy for you not to take any picks in the first day. That's cool. Patience comes to those who wait, right? If I move back, then I can have multiple darts I can throw at. I can trust Will McClay to just take more gambles and risk on that second and third round player, you know, or what have you. That should be a better option for us to do instead of moving up. It's just to say, you know what, this draft got multiple guys that I like. If I move back, then I can have a more chance at these guys. What about that, guys? What about moving back, you know? Shout out to Magic Toast again. Mo should go to Arizona and reunite with Patrick Peterson. I said Pat Pete. And a Tyron Hunter Badger. I mean, that'd probably be a good deal, but I don't want her to move out for free. I want something in return, although he's a free agent though. But we'll see. Is he gonna go with dirt cheap? Then we should keep him. D-line, that's what Shane said. Q Baby 04. What do you think if we trade up for the first pick? I think it's a bad idea. Yeah, you're right, man. You 1,000% right. Remember what I said. I like known commodities. I like being able to know what the fruits of my labor that I'm going to be able to receive. You know, I just know for sure that I'm not going to be able to receive nothing with a Myles Garrett. You know, I just don't know. You know. Martin Sanchez, do you mind me asking what is your profession is? My profession is to love the Cowboys. I am a system analyst for the United States government. All right, and random JG, you think Rico Gathers would be back up next year for Witten? Sorry for me battering that read right there. He said random JG said, you think Rico Gathers will be a backup next year for Jason Witten? Let me tell you this, the tight end position, the tight end position is one of the most dominant, the next trend, I want to say the extension of an offensive lineman. You can't be a great tight end without no knowledge. You got to be formidable. You got to understand every play. You got to understand what the linebackers can do. You got to understand what a slot receiver can do, because you might have to roll out to the slot. You got to understand block protection. You got to know how to be an inline blocker. You got to know how to wiggle out to the side. So a tight end, a typical tight end, learn these traits over years, you know, master these skills. Now, granted, you do have these freaks of nature type of guys who can understand, if they're smart enough to understand complicated offenses and understand how to get block protection, learn how to roll out and learn how to be that extra blocker and all this good stuff. But that typically doesn't happen in your year one. That typically doesn't happen in year two nor year three. That's seasoned tight ends, you know. So Rico being next year, Jason Witten back up, he'll be only in limited situations. You will see Rico coming in as a maybe red zone or something like that. But Jason Witten at that point will be long in the tooth. You know, I don't think he's going to be just that that guy that we would be able to think that we would have. You see what I'm saying? So that's just the problem we having with that. That right there, random. Texans won't give up anything unless they feel Romo can go to KC or Denver. Touche, Burgess. Let's get the D-line means with no off the field issues. That's from Lovell. I mean, if we'd have got Noah Spencer last year, he was right in the pickings for us, right? If we'd have reached into the draft and got Noah Spence, right? Then, because although he had issues and stuff like that, the problem is with that he didn't have no issues this year, So, do we not take that risk now? If a Tim Williams, let's say for instance Tim Williams out there, do you take that risk, Jerry? Tim Williams is one hell of a man. If you don't think you think I'm shooting smoke, look up his YouTube highlights. Type in Tim Williams from Alabama, but he got off the field and character issues. So we kicking ourselves if the Patriots or the Seattle Seahawks or Carolina Panthers pick this guy up and he never has an off the field issue. It just seems like sometimes our team would gamble and we get the wrong things, right? It's Super Tiger. What about Cordell Patterson? Let me tell you what I think about Cordell. I think Cordell Patterson is one hell of a special teamer. I think that his ability to be able to be that special team, to be able to run that jet sweep a whole lot better, and then he can catch a little bit better than a Lucky Whiteheads of the world, right? So I think that he'll be more formidable to our team than any other special team where we had in years. So I would pull the trigger on him if the asking price is legitimate. It'll make teams wonder, right? Thank you. Like I said, I thank everybody for joining in. I thank you guys for being part of the Law Nation Network. All right. And with this, Shane, I agree with you. Our team core is offense. Try to get a free agent D-line. Keep Church, Carr, and draft either a corner or a linebacker. Can't trust Sean Lee to stay healthy again in Jalen Smith. You're right. You playing with it's just the gamble within the gamble. We just really don't know for sure if Sean Lee is going to stay healthy. We see Sean Lee flying to the ball. We've fallen in love with what he did all last year for us, but can we marry that with Jalen Smith? Can we marry that with a veteran defensive presence too as well? Somebody that's in the free agent market. Somebody that's known to be healthy, will that match up well? Do we go grab that one more explosive offensive player? We need to do that, This is from Landon. I really think we go out and get our defensive lineman and free agent and take the best player available in the draft. You are reading my mind. You are reading my mind. All right, so Super Tiger, yes, I'd rather the Cowboys move back in the draft since the 28th pick is basically this early second round pick. You are right. What we got to do, Super Tiger, is we really got to treat this second round pick as like this first pick like the second round pick, and then the second round pick like a third round pick, etc. So the only way that we can maximize our product, if I was a salesman, I would figure out a way that I can get multiple picks within one draft, and the best way to get that is to sell what you have, that what somebody else somebody want that 28 pick, but what are they willing to give it up for, So that's what I do, and I would already have my players on my board that I have close enough that I like. No, I take that back. That I love more than I like. Then those would be the players. Those would be the players that I go out and get come hell or high waters, like your Carl Larsons of the worlds or your Hassan Reddicks. If they're out there, you grab them. And basically, these are guys that could be in that middle tier of being in the second round. The problem with moving back. This is from the Magic Toaster. The problem with moving back is you can easily miss with your picks like the Titans did last year, or last week, the second round picks. Well, that's the risk that we all know, right? And like I say, the only problem is with that, what me and the other guy are stating, that if you go out and you grab your known commodity, right? This is just me thinking. I'm not Will McClay. I'm far beyond being an NFL scout. I don't get a chance to watch film and digest all the things that they have accustomed to. But that's why you go and get your known commodity. That's why you go out in the free agency and you say, okay, without a shadow of a doubt, I know what this guy brings to the team. Think about it this way, and I hate to bring up this team, the New England Patriots, right? The year they win the Super Bowl. I'm gonna go back to the last 2 Super Bowls that they won, regardless of the Spygate and Cheatgate, Inflation Gate, whatever. They went out and they say they knew without a shadow of a doubt that Revis is gonna be able to shut down one side of the field, right? So they went out in free agent and they went and grabbed this guy. That's their known commodity. Then what they did with that is that with their first round pick or what have you, they traded back, or they went back into the draft and they picked up multiple second and multiple third round picks. These their philosophy, right? And they know for sure that they can groom these guys, and then they just 3 years and 4 years they just get rid of them. They don't re-sign or none of that. That was one explanation that they did. Okay, the second time they did it was known commodity with the Martellus Bennett kid. I don't think that the New England Patriots would have been more formidable than they are right now without, of course, Gronkowski and without Martellus Bennett, because he demanded that extra linebacker, the safety, to cheat to his side, and Tom Brady was able to pick away. So you got to be able to take those small risks in the free agency to go out and grab that known commodity, somebody that they can fit your system, or be close enough that your coaches can coach well enough that you can get a known product, or you get known production from how can I say it? You get some known something from that player. Now, did we hit and miss on Brandon Carr? Yeah, I would say that we hit and missed on Brandon Carr. That was the last big free agent we signed over 5 years ago, $50 million. We all know that, but at the same token, at the time, he was able to stay healthy and stuff like that. But still, that was the last time we took a big risk and it burned us, right? So those are things that I always take in mind. Let me see what else we got here. Let me see. Well, you guys are rolling tonight. Do you know who Mark Holmes is? Yeah, go follow Mark Holmes, Agent Toaster. Yeah, go follow Mark Holmes. I follow his channel. I watch every episode. Him and the Jabu Sports Reports. I follow them and the whole little bit with taking of the ROM shots and stuff like that. It's really funny, good comical, great insight to football stuff for as it relates to Cowboys. This is my boy Loke. I will find a way to get OJ and let Whitney room him a couple of seasons. That would be the best route. This is from Burgess. Look at what Bosa did for the Chargers. Now he was top 5. He said, now he was top 5. Yet, if we can get into the top 15, maybe get a steal. Yeah, but if you looked at that report, how you gonna get into the top 15? Top 15 requires multiple picks to move up from the 28th pick. Just to move up from the 28th pick to the 20th pick requires a 3rd round pick, and some other stuff that you probably had to give up just to get to that spot. So I personally would probably do better than move back or just staying where I'm at. And if you can move up 2 slots, or maybe 3 slots, then that'll be the only way. But outside of that, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't try to get to the top 15 because you just don't know. It still won't be a known commodity. All right, so what we have here? Let me see where we at. And like I said, I thank everybody for joining in to the Law Nation Network. maybe, and this is from Logan Johnson, maybe Ware, no way Peterson though. I mean, if Peterson willing to come to us dirt cheap, which I highly doubt it, because you got pride and you got personal other stuff that you have on the line, then I would go with that, But with where needs to come to as well, but it got to be dirt cheap. It got to be dirt cheap. We just can't spend $5-6 million on Ware. We can't spend $7 to $8 million on Patrick Peterson. Not Patrick Peterson, but Adrian Peterson. I would spend $6 to $7 million on Patrick Peterson if he was willing to. But random, this is Levi, random JG. Cowboys have Ezekiel Elliott. We don't need a Adrian Peterson. Levi, here's where you were wrong, Adam. Are you sure that we're gonna keep? Are you sure we're gonna be able to keep Dunbar? Are you sure we're gonna be able to keep McFadden? Are you sure, without a shadow of a doubt, Adrian Peterson, if Ezekiel Elliott, let's say for instance, I'm not even gonna mention that, but if something was to happen, let's say quote unquote, background investigation, whatever they're trying to do, figure out what this guy did in 6th grade in the NFL, say, okay, we're gonna suspend this guy for 3 to 4 games, whatever it may be. And I'm just throwing this out here, and I hope this never happened. Not trying to wish ill will on any player, but we just know that that's just the reality of it, because we are the Cowboys, right? Everybody love to hate the Cowboys, Are you sure you're willing to go into this season without a shadow of a doubt with Alfred Morris? Now, only way, Levi, I can flip this and make it right for you, if you say, you know what, I don't give a you know what about the naysayers. This Joe Mixon kid is the 4th round, going into the 5th. We know we got a late 4th round pick. We know that he's the highest player on our board. Now, I do know that this guy got off the field issues, but it happened when he was 18, and that was 3 years ago, and he has not been in trouble ever since then. I'm going to reach so far in my pocket and grab that draft pick so quick that I would just have my PR guy ready to say, hey, this kid was 18 years when it happened. Yes, it was nefarious. Yes, it was crazy for him to hit a woman and all this stuff, but I think that he's going to help our team. And we got now a 1-2 punch that nobody willing to step up and be able to stop us from in the midst of having Zeke the Freak and Joe Mixon, maybe re-sign McFadden or keep your Alfred Morris's of the worlds in this backfield. That'd be the only way that Levi, I will make your statement saying, okay, that would be the main reason not to pick up an Adrian Peterson, known commodity, That's what I'll go with, JPP is not getting $75 million with multiple fingers missing. JPP want the world, he want money. He needs money. So this is from Swartz. What's up? Seen the vid, new sub, good content, appreciate it, man. Keep following, keep liking the channel, let other people know that Law Nation trying to be the best station in the nation, baby. We trying to come from the top. Landon, who will be the number 1? I can't read today. Law Nation need to learn how to read. All right, who would be the number 2 running back this year? Cowboys don't seem very high on McFadden or Morris. I don't know, fam. I just don't know. I really think that I hope, I kind of like McFadden over Morris. I hate to throw Morris under the bus, but he looked like refrigerator with legs last year. He just didn't look elusive. He didn't look like he was turning the page better than what we thought that he was going to be able to do. He came out hot, but he just kind of died real fast. So I'm not a big fan of Morris at this point. Magic Toaster and Morris will he, on the contract for another year. Yeah, Morris signed a 2-year contract, so that's just the problem with that. We got him signed, so in other words, people will say, hey, deal with the source, so keep him, But let me see. If Shane said, I wish we could have kept Darius Jackson, but Cleveland ruined it. Yeah, Cleveland was a hater in the house, because I really believe without a shadow of a doubt that I thought that Darius Jackson would be like the 1-2 punch that I was really looking at. I got hella film on this guy running just finding their holes. And I think Darius Jackson with the right startup, man, he probably would have showed us something late in his second half of the season, but I don't know why. This is from Swartz. We have too many holes to try to move up. We need to pick and maybe even drop to get a few more. Cap is killing us. Well, the cap is the cap. We bought things with our credit card, and what we do is every time it gets down to closing out a credit card, we do the extended credit line, and we buy more things. And that's the problem is with that. But the problem collectively, Swartz, is that I hope I've saying your name right, is that we are in a contender position now, and we can't fold up, and we can't say, well, at this point we're gonna try to not just do anything, and we're not going to try to re-sign our players, because we got the best offensive line in the world. We got 2 or 3 guys on the offensive line that got well over an $80 million contract. So we're going to have to just cuddle that, and just hope for the best. What we need to do is just pray like no end tomorrow that Dak Prescott can just stay being Dak Prescott, and he demand just play for free, for the next after beyond his contract, so that we can just recoup some of this money that we really need. And that's the only thing that we need to lean on. And that's how the Patriots got away with it. Tom Brady is playing literally for peanuts, Max said I'll pick Mixon in the 5th round. Remember, Max, our 5th round is technically a 6th round. So we're going to have to figure out, if you're going to make that move for Max in the 5th, you got to make that move in the 4th, because he might be gone by that time. But Cowboys, Super Tiger said Cowboys ain't got a 5th, sadly, or a 6th. We don't have a 5th or a 6th. I need to look that up. This is from Landon. I understand that, this is from Landon. I guess it was True Magic. I understand that, but a guy to lose his job to a guy coming off of the injury would be a high on him, or you don't think that they just give McFadden an audition to stay on the team? I got to keep up with what you guys was talking about, but I think McFadden just a whole lot better. He had a better chance. He just outperformed for whatever you guys were talking about. McFadden versus Morris. I just like McFadden. How did you get? This is Preston Jones. How do you not get copyrighted? Are you talking about on this screen right here? Gotta give me some more details, Jones. Mixon may go undrafted. I just don't see, Mixon going undrafted. I think somebody would pull that trigger 6th or 7th round. I just think that would be the issue with that. I think the Seattle Seahawks got a great locker room to pick up a Mixon. I think the Kansas City Chiefs would take that risk. I think the Patriots would take that risk at this point. Those teams would take Mixon, I don't think he's not gonna fall undrafted. Watch, he's gonna be a surprise pick. Somebody gonna pull that trigger on him. If Cam Robinson offensive line there's at 28, do you take him? Best player available. Best player available according to whose eyes, But if we go with that approach, then we got holes on our offensive line. Right tackle is questionable. We don't think that Doug Free is going to be able to stay here. And then you got to put in mind of what you're going to do with Collins. And what are your plans with Leary? Are you going to be able to hold and keep him on your team? Those are things you got to ask yourself. Those are things you got to look into the mirror and say, hey, I'm going to be able to keep my core guys on this offensive line? Or will Chaz Green going to step up this year? Or will the Cooper kid ever flatten out and pan out for us? Those are things that are going to have to come across our mind as it relates to football draft and what we're going to do with this O-line coming up to the future, you know. I'm very high on Mixon. I think he's close to Shady McCoy. That's from Tally. I mean, you're right, man. That Mixon is very close to Shady, you know. And Mixon is a beast within himself. So those are things that we really going to have to take reservations on, you know. What are we going to do with that, you know? You know, what are we gonna? How we're gonna pan that out? You know, if you go with if you're not going with Mixon, who are you gonna have as your backup running backs? You know, are you gonna try to re-sign Dunbar? Are you gonna try to re-sign McFadden? Are you gonna trust? Are you able to trust? Are you able to technically trust Morris to be your backup running back? Those are things that you really gonna have to ask yourself. Those are things you got to reach down in your soul and ask yourself. How am I gonna play this out? How am I gonna get this thing going? You know, what rookie receivers do you like? Like I said, I like D.D. Westbrook. He probably fall to us in the second round, maybe third. He have some off the field issues. I actually like Corey Davis. I like him. I like John Ross of the world. You know, I like Juju Smith. You know, and those players that I wouldn't. You know what? I wouldn't shed one anger of any anxiety if we go out and grab any of those guys within any of the second or third round or fourth. Of course, they're not going to last that long. But look here, guys. If we go with the first round pick and we say it's John Ross, then I clap my hands and say, okay, hey, we got an explosive player that I've been talking about. Not a known commodity, but we got an explosive player. Hopefully, he can just be a faster, better, elusive, better Cole Beasley. They about the same size, you know. So it's gonna be looking weird. We got one big guy, Dez Bryant, and hopefully Butler re-sign him, and he'd be more formidable out there to the outside. And don't forget about Andy Jones. You know, hopefully he can just come into the fold second year, being better in the system, knowing that he dropped the ball several times in the preseason game, but maybe he can step it up next year. or the McDuffie kid, you guys, you know, the project players, the safe route. We can go that route too as well. But that's what I'm looking at, you know. Logan Johnson says, what is your prediction for the Super Bowl next year? I got Cowboys and Steelers. If Big Ben come back, you know, then we talking with something. I got Cowboys and got Cowboys in the Super Bowl and we winning. How about that? We win in the Super Bowl next year. That's my prediction. I don't care who we play. It could be the Texans. It can be Denver. It can be the Patriots. It could be the Titans. It can be whoever. We win. We winning. We are winning. What is your? Let me see. This is Shane. Let me see what you had to say. Leary's gone. I think. We get a comp pick for him, 2018. He get a nice contract, compensatory. That's what I meant to say. He will get a nice contract for a help from them shitty Saints. They won him last year. They go out and grab him because they need it. They need a offensive lineman, but they do need an offensive line. Alright, then Burgess, we haven't drafted well on defense. We either pay for a war daddy, I like the word war daddy, or move up in the draft. Randy, second round. Lawrence second, Jalen maybe, or yes, Tapper maybe. Yeah, Byron Jones did okay, you know. Jones okay. Anthony Brown did okay. Don't sleep on Malik. He did a fantastic job, just overshadowed by a few things. But I think that we did okay with our draft picks and the defense later on in the draft, because those guys are going to be really, really good next year. Anthony Brown, AB, is going to be real good next year. Malik Collins is going to be fantastic next year. He's playing down in the line. He's going to be just somebody that's going to be able to match up well with the Crawford kid, Jack Crawford, not Tyron Crawford. And I think we did real good with the Thornton kid, Jack Crawford Thornton, and Irving. So I'm not sleeping too much. I let the naysayers talk bad about our defense. But only thing is with our defense, and what we really need is we need that one more explosive guy to be able to step up and be formidable to this team. That's all we need, guys. We just need one more guy to be able to be that person for us. And the only way we can get that, as I would say, is from the free agency. Logan Johnson versus Cowboys versus Patriots in the Super Bowl next year. That would be, I think it's for Levi. Yeah, that would be nice. Super Tiger 2607. What do you think if the Cowboys sign either AJ Abuye, Stephen Gilmore, Tremaine Johnson, drafted Charles Harris first round, and possibly DeMarcus Walker second? This team, if he's there for that pick, I like Walker kid. Matter of fact, believe it or not, I like DeMarcus Walker over Charles Harris. Out of the AJ Abuye and the Stephen Gilmore and Tremaine Johnson, I like Tremaine Johnson is just going to be a far reach. He's not going to be there. I can tell you that. AJ Abuye, at least he stated and lamented that he would like to be on the Cowboys. So I would lean towards AJ. Maybe give us something favorable as far as money, and just from the natural state of him wanting to stay in Texas, that'd probably be a plus. But far as the Stephen Gilmore, if he can come cheap, I mean like $6 maybe million, if we can find room for $6 million, maybe $5 if we lucky, $5 million a year, which would be maybe have to sign him for like a 5-year contract. I don't know for sure. Or maybe give him a signing bonus of 7. Signing bonus of 7 for you. Yeah, that would be like $30 million stretched over 4 years. I don't think that he will come that cheap. But who knows? If he want to play for a contender, if we still believe that we are that contender, and he believes that we are, then that'll probably be a plus for us. Let me see. Let me see what we got right here. What do you think? Enough of the project players, maybe 1 or 2, but not 5 or 6 project players. You're right, Roy. Well, I'm so tired of project players. The McDuffies of the world, the Butlers, the Cole Beasley, the only project player that I think that really panned out for us. Cole Beasley. Lance Dunbar didn't plan out for us. Butler, we still got a big question mark on him. The Lucky White Eggs of the world, I just don't know about that project there. We just gonna see. The Rico Gathers a project in waiting. Is it gonna be more of the same? It's just how I look at it. And he says, Landon, why isn't D.D. Westbrook high on a lot of people's draft board? I see him being possible a steal in the 3rd round, but if he go in the 2nd with a good combine, yeah, he's going to be a combine guy. If he's going to get out there and he run a low 4.3, everybody's going to say, we're going to move him up to the 1st and the 2nd round. They're going to fall in love with this guy. But like I said, I don't know if he's even invited to the combine. I think he had questionable off the field issues, though. That would be the only problem with that. What do you think about getting Sheldon Richardson from the Jets for a 3rd round? It's for Max. Sheldon. All I can think about is him going 125 miles per hour on a bridge with a marijuana blunt with a child in the car. I don't think that's be the Jason Garrett White kind of guys, you know. Just thank God that he played for the Jets and not the Cowboys, right? But for a third, Sheldon Richardson. If you get Rob Marinelli with Sheldon, boy, that'd be something. That's like a wet dream for us, right? But I just don't see, man. I don't see the Jets getting rid of him for a third. If they put that contender on him, but they put a third round on him, you know. If they're willing to trade him, we keep that contract, boy. I don't know, you know. I'm gonna put a placeholder on that, Max, though. But it is good. I would love to have Sheldon Richardson, but I just don't understand his mind, you know, as it relates to like questionable stuff, you know. I just don't want us to regress, you know. Sheldon Richardson is a whole lot different from Joe Mixon, you know, because he did that with money, you know. Joe Richardson didn't have money. He was 18 years old, and he did that. So when we talking about a person who played in the NFL, got in his Lambo, going 125 with a blunt in his hand, with a child in the car seat. So I just don't like that, you know. But that would be, like I say, one hell of a risk for us to get, and it would be a steal for us to get with a third round pick. Do you think Logan Ryan is worth the nice money, or is he just a Patriot system player? I would stay far, far away from him. I wouldn't pay Logan. I wouldn't do it. Not for him. Yeah, Max, I think he can be a different maker, but like I say, it's not with that off the field deals there. Who is your war daddy? This is Burgess. Who is your war daddy? That can take us over the top. My war daddy is the Poe, the Calais Campbell, Eric Berry. I think he would be a great war daddy for us. Even I like Stephen Gilmore. I like him. I like AJ. Price is Right. You know, those will be my known commodities as war daddies. Now, future war daddies, if we can maybe get, like you say, a Walker from Florida, or Solomon Thomas. I like him. You know, people that falls in our range. Hassan Reddick. You know, Carl Lawson. Those are players that comes into my mind. You know, future war daddies. You know, war daddies in the making. Jalen Smith. Hopefully he can stay healthy. He can be a good war daddy for us. You know. This is from Shallow How. Shout out to you for being part of the team. Thank you for joining in. Are you sold on Dak after 1 year? Dak still got what I want to see from Dak Prescott. Is him passing out of I formation, passing out of the gun. Well, not out of the gun, but passing more out of the center, because you can open up the playbook just a little bit more. But you can do play action even, you know, you can do so many things. Boot rollouts be even better once he start passing out from out of the center. But I'm sold on him. I'm really vested in on Dak Prescott. I really think that he's going to step it up next year. He's going to be even better next year than he was this year. So I really sold on Dak Prescott. I think that he's a rare commodity, right? I've been talking about commodities, like, you know, like we talking about investing portfolio and stock tradings, you know. You want to yield on this product, you know, stuff like that, you know. Third rounder is actually the most NFL teams are willing to give up for Sheldon. That'd probably be a good deal. Level Levi said, let's see what Dak can do next year. Sheldon Richardson contract expires next year. If we don't like what we can get from him. Yeah, dab on it, right? Did you ever thought about starting a gaming channel? Never thought about that, you know. I gotta have time. That's my only issue. I don't have time, and that's my only problem. I don't have time. The only games that I play Assassin's Creed. I play that, and I don't even play Madden. I stopped playing Madden years ago, you know. So I don't know what even games that I will even play outside of a shooting game or adventurous game, you know, that we can talk back and forth and go back on. But stuff like that, no, I haven't thought about a gaming channel. I just don't have time. Do you think the Cowboys are really out to be big spending market after what they did with Brandon Carr? I think Brandon Carr burned us. I think the Brandon Carr deal kind of really made us think real long and hard, on trading up and doing all those weird things as far as money. But at the same time, in order to play this game, you got to be able to. You got to be able to take a risk. You got to take a risk. Do you like Adam Thielen from the Vikings as a number 2? Yeah, he catches the ball with his hands. I like the way he runs his routes crisp. He's very sharp. Got length. I think that he does an excellent job out there on the outside too as well. And then he's not afraid to go across the middle. I like Thielen. I like what he can do. I like what he can bring to the team. I think with a better quarterback, we saw his skill set even more, So hopefully the Vikings can figure out a way to utilize that guy. That guy's awesome. He might be your dark horse for next year, Need to go get him. Just to piggyback off of my last comment, it makes sense to go after a guy who has already proven in the league, like a Sheldon Richardson. Yeah, you're right. We're going to have to put reservations on him, though, Tally. If we can get him, we can figure out a way to grab him, right? We got to put him in a room and have a long discussion from him and sit down and say, okay, these are the things that I want from you. These are my expectations of you. These are the things that we just cannot happen, because we get scrutinized to the high heavens and we don't need those type of distractions and stuff like that. But Sheldon Richardson would be a known commodity that we know for sure we can close our eyes and we don't have to worry about it. The quarterback best to get the ball out within 3 seconds, because if not, this guy's coming. And then you got to worry about Irvin, you got to worry about Collins, you got to worry about Jalen Smith, you got to worry about Sean Lee. That's what a big guy like Sheldon Richardson does. You should be a sports broadcaster, Law Nation. Thank you. Thank you, Levi. I hope I will be able to be one day, right? Be on One of Somebody Radio. You are listening to nothing but the best of hits and oldies, magic. I want, what is this? I hit fire. I want you to dab on him. I can't even. I want Tony Rostino. Dab on him. Dab on him. Dabbing on them, baby. Dab all day. How you going? How's it going, Law? Glad to be in the stream. That's at Port 184. Shout out to you. Shout out to everybody. Go out and follow Port 184. You're almost at 10,000 subscribers. Congrats. Thank you, Dave Ortiz. We need to get to 10,000. I'm so close. I'm so close to the 10 grand, baby. Look, this year, I started off earlier this year with like 40 people. I think Q Baby, he was like one of the first people to start following me. Some other cats that was out there start following me. And then all of a sudden, start doing these videos and stuff like that. And it's more and more. But But lately, I got a plan next year, boy. I got a plan that I'm going to be able to have every game available to you guys. So don't forget to follow my Facebook page as well. You see it up there top. But I got a way that to have the game clickable. So when someone didn't get a chance to watch the game or don't have access to the game, they'll be able to come to my page and there will be a video screen, right? And they will just click the link and he'll go straight to the game. I found a way to outsmart YouTube. Don't tell nobody though, right? Don't tell a soul. At Cowboy Blue on the Twitter. Shout out to my brother from another mother, no other. Don't look like Danny Glover, but keep it cool on Twitter. My brother, Cowboy Blue. Do you have a dog? I'm the dog. Roof. No, I don't have a dog. I used to have a named Prince, a golden retriever, and then I kid you not, that golden retriever was the smartest thing ever in life. He would run when I was staying at my home from a small rural area, And Prince used to take the bowl, the dog food bowl, right? Quick story. He'd take the dog food bowl and put it in his mouth. And when the garbage guy come by, trash collector, whatever you might want to call him, come down and grab the trash, he would actually take the bowl in his mouth and he would chase them with his dog pan in his mouth, and they would say, man, LT, my name is Lawrence. He was like, hey, LT, what's up with that dog, man? Is he hungry? Are you guys feeding that dog? And it was so funny, man, because you'll run with shout out to anybody who love dogs, man. But, that's just the thing is, man, everybody should get an animal. Everybody should have a pet or an animal, Do you think the Cowboys would take Myles Garrett? This is from Isaiah. The only way Myles Garrett can find his way on the Cowboys, if he find a way to get a DUI, and I'm not saying this to be trite, as Jerry Jones would say, if he go and grab a DUI, or if he go put one of those masks on like he was smoking a blunt or something like that, and that's the only way if he drop all the way down to the 28 pick, because I don't see us selling the farm with 4. It would take us 3 to 4 first round picks to get this guy, and we don't have that type of assets to go out and grab Garrett. But he will look sweet on his team. He will look sweet on his team. What do you? This is what it. For Tony Romo, I just don't think the Browns are willing to give up that much for Tony Romo. I'm just being trite. I'm not trying. I'm use not Jason Garrett word. Jerry Jones, not trying to be trite. I don't think that they're willing to give up that much for him. All right, this is Port 184, safety corner or pass rush, which should be the first round selection. Or do you think the Cowboys would go best available? Name Brando, by the way. Shout out to Brando. Don't forget to follow Brando. Good question, Brando. If they go with the best player available, right? I'm gonna always say this: if OJ Howard is on that board and with the 28 pick, they will not pass up on that. And the reason being is our need is pass rush, right? If you look at it collectively, we need a pass rush. Everybody knows without a shadow of a doubt that we need a pass rush. History shows that the best pass rush is between first and 15th round draft pick. First and 15 first selection of the draft. So there's no way that we're going to be able to move up to the 15th slot. So our best choice in the matter of that would be go out and grab the OJ Howards of the worlds, or the Corey Davises, or whoever we have high on that board at that point in time. If it's an offensive lineman, we grab that. If it's a safety, which I doubt, we grab that. If it's a corner, we go grab that guy. Hey, if Jabril Peppers out there, we grab him. But he just have to be the best player available at that point in time. I wish I can get, what's that? Iguana as a pet animal. That would be nice, man. Those iguanas are very, very, very smart and intelligent pets. You may not think they are, but they're very smart and intelligent. Laugh out loud. I told my girlfriend he needs to go and get up into trouble so we can get him. That's the only way. Shane, you are right. That's the only way, man. This is at Dallas Cowboy Blue on the Twitter. We need Barry in the secondary. Jared Allen recently said that the reason Cowboys didn't have a war daddy already is because of rod rotations. His D-line is too much. Let me read that real slowly. I'm gonna try to digest what you're saying. We need a Barry in the secondary. Is that a Barry Church, or there's an Eric Berry? I think he spelled this with an E anyway. Yeah, so you're right. But if Eric Berry is willing to play for us for nickels, then yeah. I mean, what is he maybe asking for? 11, maybe 10 mil? How are we going to have that liquidity? I don't think we have that liquidity. I don't think we have those remunerations to go out and grab a Berry only if he's willing to say, okay, I'm going to a contender. I just don't like the Kansas City Chiefs no more. It's kind of cold out there. I got $14 million last year, but that's just for them signing me up for the I think it was $14 million, right? For that what do you call that franchise ticket. He looking for money. He's looking for remunerations that we just don't have, unless we just say, okay, we sell the form for this guy. And don't forget, we're gonna have to pick up somebody to pick up Church and JJ Wilcox's position, But and then we still got to fill out plugs for the defensive line. So there's so many variables, man. Good night, Law. Shout out to David Ortiz. Good night, man. Have good dreams, man. And shout out to the Cowboy Nation. Benson led our team in sacks with 6 on 341 snaps. That's sad. That's sad, man. We only had 6 sacks. But and that's Benson Mayoa. He only had he only played like I said, 341 snaps, so that's the equivalent to 10 games? Less than 10 games. It's equivalent to like 8.5 games. So yeah, that's sad, But that's good if he can play a full 16 games. That'll probably be 10 sacks, 11 sacks, give or take, if he can be able to stay formidable. Imagine if we could have gotten 600 plus snaps. Yeah, that'd have been 12, maybe 12, 11 sacks. Good math, good math there. At Dallas Cowboy Blue, that is true. Yes, right. Shout out to Kevin. Long, what do you think about TJ Watt in the second round? He was mocked to us. Ooh, I saw TJ Watt film the other day. That guy got a motor, and he is tall. He's rangy. And I like his speed. He plays with a tenacity that I would like to see on our team. But man, we'll find a way to put him on that team. Because we got Hitchens, we got Wilson. I don't want to stop Wilson growth, because Wilson looks good out there. All right, so we got Wilson, Hitchens, and we got Smith. We can rotate Smith in and out. We got Sean Lee playing the weak side. Hell, we'll find a way, man. And our linebacker core, we got number 51. I forgot his name. Name at the tip of my tongue. I like him too as well, 51. So I think TJ will be able to fit right into our system. Broadcast stopped. Are you guys still able to see me? It could just only last for an hour. Let me see what we got here. I have bad connection though. Are you guys able to hear me, see me? Mic check 1 2 3. Mic check. Are we still live? Yeah. Tally, yeah, I'm planning on doing a live mock draft maybe after the combine, just maybe a week before the draft, actually. All right. This is from Mark Holmes. Tyrone Crawford, stay or go. Tyrone Crawford must go. Like I say, y'all guys, go out and follow Mark Holmes. Very, very good on the Cowboys news and sports news and updates and stuff like that. This is the reason why I cut Tyrone Crawford, because he just not been living up to his expectations. And when you have expectations on somebody like that, you paying him. He's like the 5th or the 6th highest paid player in his position, and he's giving up production. I meant to say. Of somebody who's getting paid 13th or maybe 14th in his position. So he just haven't panned out to what we really expect. If we cut him now, we at least save $7 to $8 million on the cap. We'll probably break even with him as far as next year. But I just really don't like what I see from Tyrone Crawford. At Cowboys, at Dallas Cowboy Blue on the Twitter. Are you still able to hear or see me now? Or anybody else having issues with the live stream? I think Wilson will start instead of Hitchens. You're right. Wilson did step it up, man. Wilson is flying to the ball, hitting. I think about doing a film on him, an all 22 film, so you guys can see what all he brings to the team and his ability to be able to just be formidable out there. And this was just his second year, so like Parcell says, shout out to Mandy. I've been going for a minute now, but like Parcell says, normally players show up and show out on their third year, so that's why I'm really waiting for Byron Jones to step it up this year. 10 million cap number this year. So Mark Holmes, are you saying that he's 10 million cap number this year? That's how much he's paying. That's how much Crawford is going against the cap this year. I mean, can you imagine? You cut Crawford, you got your Calais Campbell right there. And we're saying like, okay, you going the wrong way, LT. You going the wrong way, Law Nation. You going older player, and you're getting rid of a younger player. But I'm going older player with a known commodity that I know for sure, without a shadow of a doubt, that I'm gonna get at least a minimum of 7 to 8 sacks. T Will stay or go. This from Eddie Cruz. I say T Will leave because T Will is looking for $8 million. We just ain't not gonna be able to pay T Will $8 million unless he humble himself and say, "Hey, I'm willing to play for peanuts. I'm willing to play for 3. Maybe we can probably barely scrape $4 million for T Will at a reasonable contract. We should release Crawford and maybe sign him for a veteran minimum." Oh, buddy, that would be nice if we get him for a veteran's minimum, because that's exactly what he's doing. Minimum, he stays injured. He's not being productive. He's such a lovable guy, right? Just a world-round guy, but lovable don't win you anything. Being nice and cute and cuddly don't win you a thing. You got to be. That's why I'm looking for a dog out there, somebody who can be grimish a little bit, who can knock that player down and rub his nose into the ground. That's what we need out there. And he just not have been that type of guy. Didn't have that type of production, unfortunately. Cap numbers because of restructuring. So are you lamenting, Mark, that we got $10 million free to use and spend? Then we need to go out there and get that war daddy. We need to go out and grab a war daddy that we can know for sure that can be formidable to this team. Do you see Irving making an impact next year? This is from my guy. Is it Brando? It seems like with a bit more play time, he can really help us on defense down the stretch. Port 184 says that. I need to see his motor a little bit more. I need to have him at one position, not being in multiple positions. I need Irvin just to play on the outside, basically. I like to just see him bend and get out at the quarterback and just stay right there. If we can find a big plug, somebody that can play the 3 technique and the 1 technique and just keep Irving to the outside, then that would be a plus for us, man. That would be a plus for us. Irving just staying out to the outside, man. That would be a plus. Hey, Mark Holmes is in here. The GOAT, the greatest of all time. Yeah, Mark Holmes is in here. Just pull up one for us for Joe Boo, man. Max starts at 28 at the end of the 6. Yeah. That said, it says Max. The sad thing is that Tyrone Crawford is from your city. What tell Max, reach out to him and just tell him, okay, just do this for us, man. Do this for us. If you have an outstanding year, we will make something happen for you. But can you restructure your contract? Not to extend, but to take away. Can you do that veteran minimum, Yeah, Mark Holmes, we need to work on a collaboration. Maybe one day in the future. Maybe I could join the Benet show. Let me see. Maybe Tony Romo could restructure his contract and make him more attractive to the teams and their likings. And this is from Roy. I mean, that would be too much like right? That would be too much like right. But if Tony Romo restructured his contract and say, okay, guys, I've been with you guys for 10 plus years, and I do know that you guys need draft picks. I do know that you guys need to get somebody. That's the only reason why teams would hesitate and be reluctant to trade for us, right? Trade with us, right? Because his contract is just, let's just call it what it is, a horrible contract. So if he's willing to restructure his contract and then get traded, and then we can go grab a second or first round pick from his trading, or even next year's first or conditionals and stuff like that, then I'm all down for that. But the possibilities of that happening is slim to none. Tyrone is embarrassing. Toronto. Oh man. It is what it is, man. Like I say, I just won't see Tyron Crawford is just doing a disjustice to the other Crawford name, because I like Jack Crawford a little bit better. And one could argue and say, well, the only reason why Jack Crawford is getting the sacks is because of Tyrone Crawford. A lie. Lies, right? What team would you like to see Romo play in 2017? Let me tell you, Eddie Cruz, you want me to be honest or you want me to give you the politician answer? The political answer would be I would like to see Tony go to maybe Texans or the Denver Broncos, or if he can go to Kansas City Chiefs, the Missouri team. I think his wife is from Missouri, that's why they kind of leaning towards that way. They can't fool old me, but if you go to Kansas City, that'll be his wife picking if he's finna have a child and stuff like that. But the honest me would like to see Tony Romo just retire, man. Give it up, man. Go broadcast, man. You can make 6 or 7. You can make your money doing broadcasting. He can do golf on the side or stuff like that, stuff like that. Max, you said Tyrone is actually in Toronto now. Well, tell him to do us a favor and take that pay cut. Do it for the team. Do it for the ring. Because Crawford will be a good rotational player coming in off the rotation, fresh. Give him about, half of the snaps that he's been playing all these years. Yeah, man, I'm being honest, man. I won't be dishonest to you guys. I would love to see Romo just retire, And I would like to see Deshaun Jackson out there going deep, running a 9 or a dig route, Oh, and Mark Holmes, like I got a little taste, man, It's no rum, but it's cognac, Oh, shout out. Cruz in the house. What's up, fam? At Dallas Cowboy Blue on the Twitter. Then do it for the vine. Do it for the vine. You right. Do it for the vine one time. What's on your mind? Same here. He's only hurting himself and his family. Yeah, man. Look, if I had made half of the money that Tony Romo made, right? And I had broken collarbones, broken back, and pinky, whatever, I'd be looking at it like, you know what? I'm a fighter. I'm 37 years old. I got a beautiful wife and lovely kids at the house. Football is a long drawn out season. They offer me $10 million just to do a broadcast and just to talk over the radio or give my insight to the game. I would do that, But sometimes, you can be stubborn to a point and you can say, well, hey, I want to get that chip. I want to get that ring. I'm a fighter. And the only problem is with this, right? What it'll always come back to haunt us. When you put off things, it eventually come back to hurt you. Just look at that Tony Romo physical makeup. He hasn't been hitting the gym like he's supposed to. Now, in the last 10 years, if he was hitting the gym like he was supposed to, then maybe, and I'm saying just maybe, half of these accidents could have been avoided. I'm just saying, I'm just not trying to throw down. I'm not kicking the dog while he's down and all that stuff, because Tony Romo was my man. I was crying out for Tony Romo to play last year. But when he saw Dak Prescott humming that ball and he saw these young guys running around doing these things, Tony Romo started getting in that weight room, he started losing that little weight. He said, look, man, I got to compete with these guys. And you saw this year, he lost a lot of weight. But that's a story of another day, man. He wants that ring. You're right. Everybody wants that ring. Something we all adore, Sometimes you just can't get it. Sometimes your chances, your opportunity escapes from you, Yeah, Eddie, I'm planning on completing the whole entire, Sean Lee deal. Hopefully, I can complete it before the draft is here, so that you guys can see the whole, Sean Lee 2016 remarkable year. Take the cash and walk away before you are in a wheelchair. You're right, man. Take the money and run, man. You couldn't tell us twice, man. You mean to tell me I can just take this money and just go to the house and watch? Shoot. I had that chance to get that ring in 2006. I had a chance to get that ring in 2008, 2011. I had a chance in 2014. If I didn't get it during those times, then I don't know. You had a chance to get the ring last year, but at some point you got to ask yourself, what's the common denominator? I mean, we can say, okay, we never had. People would argue me down, and they would literally argue me down and say, well, Cowboys never had a top 5 defense. A lie. Cowboys defense was good in 2006, and they was good when they went the first time 13-3. That defense was good when Wade Phillips took over that team from Bill Parcells. Defense was good. Offensive lineman was good. I mean, we had some good offensive linemen, in 2013, but we just didn't win it all, But somebody argues down and say, well, Tony never got a chance to play with them guys. A lie. Now, Patrick Creighton did drop the ball. We saw that, and T.O. dropped one of the other balls in the playoff game, but still, sometimes you don't get chances all the time, guys. What is it? At Dallas Cowboy Blue on the Twitter. I know Romo wants to prove something, but man, his body is barely holding himself together. And you're right. Me and a buddy said that Romo is not training his body with the weights and stuff like that. Yeah, we know when people take shortcuts, man. Let me tell you something. If you ever notice somebody's disciplined, check out their core. Your core, if you work out, check out your core. If you don't have any lining of 6-packs, you know what I mean? If you got a little pudge there, and your arm look a little flabby, you got the little double chin going, it's not gonna happen for you, fam. You're taking days out from the gym. I mean, you gotta start eating gluten-free and stuff like that. Now, I'm not trying to excoriate cash aspersions of Stephen A. Smith would say about Tony Romo. But what I'm saying is he took days off. He might have the cerebral, he might have the mindset of understanding the playbook. But we know in the last 10 years, he picked on 15 to maybe 20 pounds. Somebody can argue and say, well, no, he's the same person. No, look at the film. Look at the tape. Tape don't lie. You like Poe, and this is Shane. Shane said, you like Poe and you like Calais. What about Keywan Schwartz? I love Keywan Schwartz, I love what he'll be able to do on our team. I mean, what is his price ask? What are you asking for? I need to go look up the free agent list. Claiborne needs to, Claiborne needs to leave to, he'll be in a wheelchair next to him. I mean, I don't know what's Claiborne. He must have broke plenty of mirrors and walked on the ladders in his life, Yeah, Dad still caught it, Logan. But I don't know what's going on with Claiborne with his injury bug and stuff like that. Claiborne would be just the guy to go to another team and never get injured, He'll do a Terrence Newman on us, man. He'll do a Terrence Newman, I'm telling you. At a young age. Yeah, you're right. Dad's caught it again. Yeah, you're right. Cowboy Blue on the Twitter. Romo should have known better. And you could tell. His body was built. He's not hitting the weight strong, and mind and body helps. You know, he been taking plays out. It's like the chicken bones now. It's like a chicken bone now. Yeah, you're right. You know, so yeah, from Mark Holmes. Like I say, hey guys, don't forget to follow Vouch Lombardi channel too as well. I got very rich draft content stuff on his page. That's his link to his page. Click on his page if you need to figure out, you know, in-depth draft studies of rookies and stuff like that. Give Health a chance at safety and rely on the draft. Give Heath a chance at safety and rely on the draft. I mean, Jeff Heath does his thing, man. I like what Jeff Heath brings to the team. I like his tenacity. I like his vision, his mind. When it comes out there, he's just like a playmaker. He's like one of those guys, and I think what his detriment is from Jeff Heath is that he doesn't practice well. That's the only thing that I can think of why he's not been out there on the field more. He only get the opportunity when somebody twists their ankle or get hurt, and he gets out there and he shows up, he flashes across the screen and stuff like that. So that's just things, man, that I'd be really looking at, man. If I could figure out a way to get Jeff Heath to just stay, you know, out there for multiple games, and then I really think that he can be formidable to this team. But in the meantime, in between time, in the draft, if we get a Malik Hooker, or if we get an Eddie, I want to say Eddie Jackson, if we get any of those guys to play safety out there in the field, boy, will we see a different team out there, you know. Get a chance to look at these guys. Hopefully we have people in the war room that can draft in the later rounds, not just in the first round and the second round. And that's from Roy. I could argue, Roy. I could argue this. We've been doing good in the later rounds. You know, we've been doing all right in the later round. It's just that second round we've been slacking off on that. And last year we did a Tapper, and we did a Malik, and we did a Anthony Brown. Darius Jackson was like, oh wow, wait, what are we doing with that? But then we end up cutting and releasing him when he could have brought in so much more to us right now. We won't have to worry about trying to figure out if Joe Mixon is going to be in the mix with us, or Kamari, or whoever out there that could be in the draft that's available for us, or even a what's that kid name, Christian McCaffrey, if he falls to us, you know, stuff like that. We wouldn't have to worry about having this type of talk. We would be talking about, okay, we can't wait to see the Zeke and Jackson combo, but now we just got to put that on placeholder on that and this sort of thing. But so many things, man. This is Max. Oh me, Eddie Jackson is real, but what do you think? Let me see. Yeah, Eddie Jackson is everything, man. Close your eyes. I'm gonna tell you what. Let me tell you how real Eddie Jackson is. You go back and look at that Alabama tape. You can look at you can look at condensed tape, or you can look at the highlight tapes. You watch a few highlights, and you watch a few shows, you watch a few techniques of Eddie Jackson, you close your eyes and you think about him and his defense, man. That'll be everything. Every team has later round problems. Teams hit on some and miss on this is from Shane. So every team hits on some and makes the first second count. They're missing on the second round. Hopefully Jalen Smith changes that. Yeah, you're right, you know. Yeah, that boy was mocked with 138. That'd probably be a good deal for us, man, if we can find a way to squeeze him in. If we can just find that way, guys. But outside of that, man, that's really been my time. I talked to you guys till I couldn't talk no more. An hour and 45 minutes straight almost. But just don't forget, after the video has been posted, don't forget to comment, like, subscribe down below to the channel. Don't forget to follow, like I say, Mark Holmes' channel. Follow Vouch Lombardi. Those guys are Cowboys. they part of Cowboy Nation too as well. They love the Cowboys, and they got great insights and stuff like that. And they can fill you in on a lot of things that I might be missing on. And we're gonna really try to get this collaboration going in the future. We're gonna try to talk about more things about the free agency and the draft talk as time permits. That's been my time. I thank you guys for yours, and remember, you are listening to nothing but the best. May God bless until I see you guys again. How about them Cowboys? I'm out.